said, and Leticia have said as well, and we have this, Fabio have said, what we've been doing here in Brazil. But actually, we could not have improved so much artificial intelligence for a smart society if we have accomplished in the last 20 years access to data, especially to personal data, and lots of data. So we are living in this data society. And Brazil is a huge market for AI opportunities, of course. But considering that, I think that we should be reflecting on how we should approach to stimulate more innovation on an AI society. Because of course, we can have on one side, the open data society approach. And there are a lot of experts talking about that. Even when we think about the data that's in the public administration domain, how we can stimulate that. Justice data, of course, when we have a lot of data in the public sector as well. But on the other hand, we have this recent data protection regulations approach that brings the importance of protecting privacy. And I'm not saying that's not important, but it brings also limits and restrictions and some costs for startups sector. It's very difficult to leverage and to reach this kind of regulation, So for the next years, what's going to be the public policy to stimulate innovation in AI projects if you consider the premises that you need to access data to develop this kind of project. Also, I'd like to share, a thought here with you all, that in 22 years of work of law and technology here in Brazil, I also have studied a lot. And for me, internet has an international nature. And I know that, Juliano Maranhão, that you also share this kind of thought as well, because this international environment of internet, it challenged us for developing national regulations. And I still so far think that maybe an international treaty would be better off when we think about this kind of topics. And WTO or UNESCO or maybe other institution should be leading this. And here in Brazil, we so far have like 3 bills being discussed about AI regulation. That's Bill 5051 from 2019, 5691 from 2019, and the 2020. And there are 3 bills trying to figure out how to regulate AI here in Brazil, and they might, be approved in 2021 or 2022, and it's going to establish for the industry, the local industry, a regulation locally, but we should think that AI has an international approach. What are developing Canada, United States, Europe, Asia, what's China doing, So I really believe that the international treaty on this topic would be something that Brazil should be sitting on these round tables abroad and discussing about. So just to conclude, we have several challenges to overcome. We should balance AI innovation and data protection regulations, because if you go too much for one side, maybe we're not protecting privacy and cybersecurity enough. But to the other hand, if you go too much restriction, we cannot access data the way we should to develop AI projects. How attend principles such as algorithm transparency. I really think that transparency is the key word for AI, transparency, and no discrimination personal data processing. And that's what we are seeing on facial recognition projects. That's something that they are struggling a lot. And how to establish clear rules to sharing data between private sector and public administration when there is economic exploitation. We should guarantee the access to it and not shutting doors for the next years, because it's going to to be very complicated, or there is a prejudice for the society in an overall point of view. So that's it. I have just 5 minutes, and I hope I could contribute for the discussion. Thank you.